Hello, Guru Nation. How's it going? Welcome back. I'm myself here, Dan Sfera. We got Monica Kutiva, and we've got Evie, our CRC Academy current
Hey guys.
and Latinos in Clinical Research. See, in California, you still gotta wear these things everywhere. So I just might as well be a walking billboard for Latinos in Clinical Research. But we've got Evie on. Okay. And Evie, we're going to have a link to her LinkedIn underneath every week. For those of you guys that have been following Die Hard, first of all, like, subscribe, comment, share, and anything else that you do these days. Right. Link to Evie's LinkedIn is underneath. She's a go getter coordinator, soon to be coordinator in our CRC Academy currently from Orlando area. She's an amazing go getter. She's willing to do anything it takes to help your site succeed. And she, first of all, Evie, how did it go? We've been doing these weekly things. We totally forgot last week. I forgot. That was my fault. I forgot last week. I'm in the middle of a move, so I just forgot. But I think I saw one of your like LinkedIn something, and then I was like, oh man, I forgot, Evie. But we're doing it now. That's what's important. So we've had 2 weeks now since our last video. So any news for Guru Nation on your progress, updates? What have you been doing since the last 2 weeks?
So I finished LinkedIn last week, Friday. No, Monday? Yeah, Friday. And then Ashley has been with me to make sure everything is exactly the way she says it on LinkedIn. And then so is my cover letter, my reference sheet, my resume, and LinkedIn all together, all four. Took about a month to get done efficiently in the way that she had recommended. And I was just going to do it all, like she said, from head to toe. I went back and forth with her a lot. And I think that's why it took like a whole month. And she surprised me by telling me that she usually does not get people that are like so like on point with what she says. They kind of like take what she says and then kind of goes forward, and that's it. It's like a
Yeah.
1, 2, 3 thing. Not me, because I invested in this, and so for me it's like no. Like if you need me to put a dot on top of the I, a comma next to after, whatever the case is, I'm just going to do it, because for me, it's the whole point of this is so I can invest on what's going to happen next. So I want it really to be exactly the way it needs to be. So I had reached out to 4 places, and I started applying to them. Places that were in different states, I was looking at for more remote. And I did notice that there was more CRAs and CRC positions.
Yes.
But because I'm a single parent, I don't really necessarily want a CRA, because I don't want to travel too much unless it's going to be all remote. I'm
Yeah.
all good. But I'm a very hands-on mom. So I want to be more hands-on, and I want to make sure he's doing so well in school. So I just want to make sure that he's on top of it. And I just don't feel comfortable kind of having someone else do it for me, because they're not going to do it the way I want it. Um, so yeah. And then I got my first no as well.
That's important to get that first no and get through it. What did they say?
Get through it. They just said they looked at it. And so I also upgraded my LinkedIn so I can see what companies are looking at my resume.
Oh,
Um,
it's a premium now. That's good.
I did
I'm gonna send
because,
you a list.
huh?
I'm gonna send you a list of a company that is looking for remote CRCs.
Perfect. Thank you. And I'll go ahead and do that immediately today. Then I saw that they saw it in the morning. I want to say 2 hours later, I got an email stating that they went next to the next person. So that only took like 2 hours for me to look at it and just make a quick decision to say no. For me, I want to see like what companies do that and don't do that, because in my opinion, I feel like if you look at it and you make a quick decision, like I want to know what was it on there that you said no to immediately. I don't get to actually have that unless I speak to them directly, which I wasn't necessarily going to go do. But if it happens more often, then I can see that there's something going on like that I'm not representing in my resume that I possibly can later. But for the most part, I haven't gotten an answer from anybody else. I did also go on Indeed to see if there's any positions there. And again, I got more remote than in Florida. A lot of them are a lot of CRAs. The hospitals directly are looking for nurses that are CRC, but they want nurses attached to it. And I think that's just more like they want to be like, sure that they're getting, somebody who's going to be more efficient by having that license attached, which I completely understand. But maybe that's just not the company that I'm going to go for and apply to, because if I don't have that, I'm not even going to attempt to put my name through. However, I will keep an eye on for the ones that say non-nurse and apply for those. And then the ones that want the non-nursing usually wants a master's. So it's like these people really want like a lot. I feel like I've done a lot too. It's like not enough.
I think there are some remote site monitor positions. Yeah.
I have two other options remotely. It can be the regulatory specialist. There are a lot of jobs of regulatory specialist. And there is another one that is called project coordinator. The project coordinator is also remote. And I have actually 3 students doing that. One in remote.
Also study startup specialist too. But I think you would be best at a site, as a coordinator at a small site in the Orlando area. I'm gonna send it to 3 people that I know, this video interview. But okay, so this is an example of Evie. We're gonna do these every week, and I didn't even think about it. Well, maybe if there's like no activity between one week and the other, it might be boring. I didn't think about this. I thought Evie would be hired in the first week. That's why I didn't plan it out. But nobody asked her to. Did you know this? Nobody asked her. She came up with a list of talking points to discuss today because she's considerate about Guru Nation, that they need to learn something. She did. I didn't tell her this. I didn't tell her this. So what?
It's true, because I feel like we all go through this, right? Like even before I reached out to you guys, even before I decided to ask questions about the CRC Academy, I thought it was going to be so easy just to like go and apply to a job because I have all this clinical background and I've done a little bit of research, but that's not enough, at all. And even with everything else that I'm putting in, honestly, I was like, oh yeah, I should get hired quickly. That's a lie. And I know like everybody that sees this.
No, you're going to.
Yes. Thank you. But it also has a lot of steps to it, right? And it has a lot of more connections that you have to do. And there's more things that you have to do to put another foot forward. It's not as easy as we may think in the long run. Like you accomplish this, you accomplish that, but it doesn't seem like it's enough. Or like you're not alone. If you're looking at this video and you're like, oh my God, she's going to get hired, blah, blah, blah. She has everybody's like, support and everything. It just takes so much more than that. Like it really does. And, I'm right there with you guys. Like I know what this feeling and I was even telling Dan, I'm even willing to work for free for like 2 weeks because I'm just like, I got to get something like quick and at least get the experience in, have people know my work ethics and my skills, whatever it takes. So it's hard for all of us, but just know that no matter what, like we're on that same boat, but don't give up because I haven't given up and I'm not ready to give up and I can go forever.
You haven't even finished class.
I forgot about that.
Don't forget it. Okay, Monica's teaching. I don't know what week you're in. What week is?
She's week 9.
So you're about, I don't know if you're starting to learn how to get studies for sites.
Yeah, she already did.
Yeah, how to get patients. You can start doing this stuff now. And when you go interview with these sites, you can tell them, look, I've already pre-identified what studies you can qualify for. I don't know if you already have these.
That's a great idea.
These are the studies you could get, and I know these are the kind of patients you get, and I mapped out these clinics or these support groups in the area or these community resources, patient advocacy groups that I already started reaching out to, letting them know that I'm going to be a coordinator here shortly. So now who's going to want to not hire that person? You know, it's just a matter of getting your foot in the door. But I think the video is going to help because I'm going to send it to the 3 sites that I know. Monica sent it to like 2 other ones, right?
I have a question for you, Abby. How many jobs have you applied for?
Since I finished my resume, like 4 or 5. Before that, countless. Every day I would apply to like anywhere from 5 to 7, whatever was available. The first day that they would come up on Indeed, quickly I would apply and apply. And I did get calls, but once they saw my resume, I guess I don't know what it was about when we were on the phone. It was like, oh yeah, you can come in for my CRC position. And then when I got there, they're like, oh, maybe medical assistant would be best. And it's like, that's not what we discussed.
But okay. So that was before you fixed your CV, right?
Right, that was before.
Exactly. So now that you have your CV organized and professional and everything specifically for clinical research, now that's when you have to be applying like there is no tomorrow, like to as many as
Every day, yeah.
see. Yeah, obviously you probably have a specifications of what you want to get. So that's probably I mean, one of the other possibilities that are holding you a little bit back. But
Yeah.
I will say that, I mean, like after you finish the class, or I mean, you already have the opportunity to be a regulatory specialist. Just the ones I mentioned, regulatory specialist, project coordinator, is
Study startup specialist.
startup specialist.
I wrote them down. Yeah, and I think you're right, because I am kind of making it more limited to myself, because the CRA, I'm like, maybe I could do that and just kind of like, do it and then eventually become CRC, but usually it's backwards, no? Right. And then I was thinking, I just don't want to be like, this summer is okay, because my son goes to New Jersey, but when he comes back from school and stuff like that and things kind of get situated, I just kind of want to be in the position that I want to be in, usually where it's not going to change later. But when you're telling me that there's more positions that I can go for, that's a little bit, remote, a little bit flexible for me, then this just kind of opens a little bit more for me. And I think you're right about that, Monica.
And then the other thing is right now, a lot of companies are doing the job like blend, like kind of mix. So it's like part of home and the other part at the office.
Hybrid.
Hybrid.
Yeah.
So I have seen a lot of that too.
I just think she's gonna be excellent study coordinator.
Yeah. I mean, and obviously working as a study coordinator is not the same as working in a healthcare facility, because it's more the how you say, the hours during the week are different. It's not like you have to be extended hours, unless, I mean, the clinic is big and they have, but usually it's like basically like business hours.
Evie, I have like some advice. If you go interview for a research site and they say, hey, we love you, we're gonna have you as a research assistant, just take it, because I guarantee you within 3 months, you've been trained to be a generalist with the CRC Academy, so you know how to recruit patients, get studies. I mean, they're gonna put you as a coordinator. It's just it reduces their risk by doing that. Saying, hey, like I would do that too. I think when Monica started here, we hired her as a patient recruiter. She wasn't a coordinator, but I knew, hey, if it works out, like in 3 months, she would be a coordinator and then site director. So I think just take the job, even if it's called a research assistant, just take it, because you'll start doing everything anyways, and then they know, hey, other competitors gonna get her if we don't, so let's make her study coordinator, and then that's how you do it.
And especially that you have the benefit that you speak English and Spanish.
Oh
Like really?
yeah.
Oh yeah.
In Florida, I mean,
It-
who's not gonna hire you? I'm actually surprised that you haven't been
I
hired
know,
yet.
that's what I've been saying.
So he's been saying that too, and I'm like, guys, I'm like, thank you so much.
I
But
thought after that
yeah,
video, but maybe it should take. It is summertime too. People are like on vacation a lot. I've noticed.
yeah, and I keep hearing on the news that like people are having issues with getting people to work for them, and I'm
I-
like, I'm right here. I'm right here waiting.
in research,
Yeah.
there's definitely a hiring shortage across the board, but I don't think at the study coordinator salary that because the whole issue is with like the food servers and things like that, where they make more money staying at home because of the stimulus. I don't think that applies to study coordinator. I mean, the salary is not in that range to where it makes sense, but there is a shortage in research too, and that's primarily due to lack of experience for most people. So what employers do is just give their existing staff more work, which is not going to be sustainable. So just keep applying. Like the sites, I just googled the Orlando research sites. I mean, I know 4 of them off the top of my head, but there's like other ones I saw on there too. There's probably like 30 in
I
Orlando.
was thinking that, like, I was thinking of maybe just sending like finding someone's email on their site and just like sending my resume and just be like, hi, I don't know if you're hiring, but here you
Yeah,
go.
premium. You can
And-
do direct message straight up to like, I don't know, 15 people a month or something.
Yeah, Evelyn,
Oh,
and there is a shortage in the industry, and on top of that, it's really difficult to find somebody that speaks Spanish. You have no idea how many job opportunities I see all the time, or I receive emails all the time. Do you have any coordinator that speaks Spanish in this area? I mean, it's just that was the first question. The site that is in Orlando asked me about you, and I say yes, she does.
yeah, yeah. And I'm actually really good. Like usually when I used to work at the outlets, oh, muchas gracias, muy amable. And I'm like, oh, I'm so sweet. Thank you. So like customer service, I got down. Like that's not a problem.
That's good for the patients too, because you need to make sure that the patients are retained in the study. So having a pleasant coordinator is gonna
Right. That's why I think one of my questions in class was that, like, like what was the customer service like? And she said, Monica was like, no, usually people will come back for more studies if they enjoy their time and they feel better about going to that site. And I'm like,
spoils the patients. Like they get whatever they want to eat. I was like, whoa, like this is like we got a budget, but she's giving them like whatever they want, and it works. The
it
patients
works.
keep coming back. The
Yeah.
retention is more important than recruitment, in my opinion, and in most people's opinion too. Ask Topaz Research about that. They're specialists in retention.
See, in that case, yeah, and that's like when we had the meeting the other day too. I wanted to ask more questions about like recruitment and how do you get people in. Like that was so interesting to me as well. I don't know. You guys are awesome, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I don't have a doubt that you're gonna make it. You're gonna make it happen.
Thank you, guys.
I don't either. So yeah, next week we'll follow up again. Yeah, I'm back next week. I'm missing through the middle of the week, but on Friday we can do it next week.
Okay.
And yeah, looking forward to it. Let's see what happens. I'm gonna process this video. It's gonna upload tomorrow, and I'm gonna send it to 3 or 4 people that I know in Orlando. I'll send it to yeah, send it to all of them. Group text. Hey guys, all together. Here's it. Who's gonna go get her first?
I'm gonna send her CV.
Okay. Yeah,
Okay.
that'd be good. The new one. The new one.
Yeah,
from
yeah,
Ashley.
that's the
Okay,
one.
okay,
I
okay.
have it.
All right. Good. All right. Well, thank you guys. Thank you, Evie, very much. Thank you,
Thank
Monica, for
you.
co-hosting. Thank you guys for watching, listening, and check out Evie's LinkedIn profile. Go add her and just go talk to her. Even if you're just a job seeker yourself, look, she can tell you what it's going like for her, and then probably gonna be the same for you, no matter where you are. So thank you guys. Appreciate it. Talk to you next week.